Good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Titi Daniel, practicing homeopathy in UAE since 14 years. Without going to much introduction, let me enter to my subject, that is a prospective study of pneumonia through homeopathy. Now the world is in a situation due to the spread of pandemic COVID-19 and its complication, pneumonia. That's why I selected today's.
Sir, I think the net is having some issue, I think.
Screen sharing. Screen sharing.
Sir, some network issues are there, but it's okay. Can you share the screen again?
Share screen.
Yeah, it's shared now. It's shared now.
Yeah, it's already shared now. Okay. That's okay. Just check with them. I'm able to see. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. So pneumonia is the inflammation of the lungs. It is a lung infection that can be caused by different types of organisms, including bacteria, virus, and fungi. The most common cause for the bacterial pneumonia is due to streptococci or pneumococci. Viral pneumonia is usually due to adenovirus or respiratory syncytial virus. Fungal pneumonia is due to histoplasma, and parasitic pneumonia is due to the migration of Ascaris lumbricoid larvae from alimentary canal to the respiratory tract during its molting and causes a type of allergic pneumonia known as Lopez syndrome. Symptoms of pneumonia. The symptoms of pneumonia starts by an upper respiratory tract infection such as flu or cold. The upper respiratory tract includes nose, nasal passages, paranasal sinus, pharynx, and a portion of the larynx above the vocal cords. There will be cold in the initial stage, sneezing, sore throat, cough, then followed by high fever, shaking chills, and cough with sputum production. Cough often producing mucus, also called as sputum from the lungs. The mucus may be rusty, green, or tingled with blood. During high temperature, the water content from the body diminishes and leads to dehydration. To prevent this condition, our body immune system will contract and relaxes the muscles of the body, followed by vasoconstriction. Thus, the patient will feel chilly or experience shivering. When there is infection of the bronchial tree, in order to expel the organisms and impurities from the body, our immune system will produce more mucus secretion into the bronchi in the form of sputum. It is a mixture of saliva and mucus coughed up from the respiratory, not hacked up, coughed up from the respiratory tract. That is known as sputum. Sometimes tiny blood vessels of the bronchi may erode and bleeding happens, and it may mix with the sputum, and a rust colored or sputum mixed with blood can be seen. Symptoms of pneumonia include cough with the sputum production, fever, and sharp chest pain on inspiration. Inspiration is a passive process. Inspiration is an active process and expiration is a passive process. So the patient has to take more effort during inspiration. That causes chest pain. Symptoms of pneumonia include cough with sputum production, fever, sharp chest pain, or inspiration. There will be abnormal sounds in the chest, and the diagnosis is confirmed by chest X-ray. The abnormal sounds are usually Raynaud's and Ronge. Raynaud's sound is produced due to the accumulation of fluid in the terminal bronchioles and alveoli. And Ronge is produced due to the accumulation of fluid in the larger air ways, that is bronchi. And chest X-ray confirms the diagnosis. Oxygenation of the blood can be impaired along with the stiffness of the lungs, which will result in shortness of breath. When there is infection of the bronchial tree, the parts affected will be filled with mucus that interferes with the normal oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in the lungs, leads to shortness of breath. Symptoms of pneumonia. Due to lack of oxygenation of blood, there will be cyanosis. Cyanosis is nothing but the bluish discoloration of the skin due to reduced hemoglobin in the blood. Normally, the oxygen is carried from one part of the body to the other part by the hemoglobin in the form of oxyhemoglobin. When there is lack of oxygenation, there will be bluish discoloration of the skin. That is known as cyanosis. The chest pain is usually sharp and more during deep inspiration, known as pleuritic pain. The whole bronchial tree is infected. So, and this inspiration is an active process. During inspiration, due to infection, the patient has to take more effort. That causes pain during inspiration. On auscultation, there will be coarse sound or Ronge will be heard, or rattling sound, or rals may be heard in the chest. Symptoms of pneumonia: fever with the chills, shaking chills, cheek chattering chills. Earlier I told you, when there is high temperature, the water content from the body loses. In order to prevent this, our body immune system will relax and contracts the muscles of the body. That will lead to vasoconstriction. Due to vasoconstriction, patient experiences chilly or cold feeling. Then there will be feeling of short breath. That I told you, when there is infection of the bronchial tree, the mucus will be secreted. The immune system will produce more mucus into the bronchial tree. That will interfere with the oxygen and the carbon dioxide exchange in the lungs. That causes shortness of breath. And there will be chest pain during coughing. When there is infection of the whole bronchial tree, during motion, there will be pain. So while coughing, due to that effort, the patient will feel chest pain. Pain just during inspiration. Inspiration, as I told you earlier, it is an active process. During active process, the patient has to take more effort. That causes pain during inspiration. There will be fast heart rate. There will be tachycardia. That is due to infection. During infection, the heart has to work more. The patient will feel tired and weak. That is due to toxemia, due to infection. When especially during in bacterial pneumonia, the bacteria produce exotoxin and endotoxin. That will lead to toxemia of the body. Then the patient will feel tired and weak. Then nausea and vomiting also due to toxemia. The immune system wants to expel the all toxins from the body in the form of vomiting. So the patient will feel nausea and vomiting. Symptoms of pneumonia. Non-bacterial pneumonia is less severe than bacterial infection. When the symptoms are mild, it may be called as walking pneumonia, silent pneumonia, or atypical pneumonia. Bacterial pneumonia is more severe than other types of pneumonia because bacteria produce either endotoxin or exotoxin. The exotoxin is produced when the bacteria is in life, and endotoxin is produced when the bacteria, when it dies and when it disintegrates, it produces endotoxin. these toxins will make this disease very severe. So bacterial infection is more severe than other types of pneumonia, especially viral pneumonia. Types of pneumonia. Bacterial pneumonia, as I said earlier, it is caused by streptococcus pneumonia or pneumococcus pneumonia. Next is mycoplasma pneumonia. It is caused by Mycoplasma bacteria, and it is a mild variety of infection. It's a mild variety of infection, otherwise known as walking pneumonia. And then next is aspiration pneumonia. When you aspirate food, liquid, or vomit into the lungs, that will cause a type of pneumonia that is known as aspiration pneumonia. Cytomegalovirus pneumonia, it is an infection of the lungs that can occur in people who have suppressed immune system or weakened immune system. Next is Legionnaire diseases, also known as legionellosis. It's a form of atypical pneumonia, mild variety of pneumonia caused by any type of Legionella bacteria. Hospital acquired pneumonia, otherwise known as nosocomial pneumonia, refers to any pneumonia contracted by a patient in a hospital at least 48 to 72 hours after being admitted. It is usually caused by bacterial infection. Community acquired pneumonia is contracted by a person outside the healthcare system. Next is pneumocystis carinii pneumonia. It's a life-threatening lung infection that can affect people with a weakened immune system, example, those who are affected with HIV or AIDS. Parasitic pneumonia is an infection of the lungs by parasite, especially Ascaris lumbricoid larvae. When it travels from alimentary canal to the respiratory tract during its molting, and it enters into the lungs and produces an allergic type of pneumonia known as Lopho's syndrome. Pathology. There are 3 stages of pneumonia. The first stage is inflammatory stage of hyperemia. Hyperemia means excess of blood in vessels supplying the organ will get engulfed with blood. That is hyperemia, and there will be high fever with violent chill, vomiting. There will be tachycardia, abnormal rate of cardiac rate, and the abnormal rate of respiratory tachypnea will be there, and the face is purplish due to hyperemia, purplish red, and the lips become covered with the fever blisters, and a fan-like motion of the LNSA noticed. The whole bronchial tree will be filled with the mucus, and there will be infection. So the normal oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange will be prevented. So hence the patient will feel shortness of breath. Then the extraordinary muscles of respiration will come into action, so that the patient will have this fan-like motion of the LNSA. Cough is dry first, later it becomes jelly-like, visits sputum, difficult to express. As soon as changes to the characteristic color rust from the admixture with the blood. When there is infection, sometimes the tiny blood vessels of the bronchi may rupture and bleeding happens. It may mix with the sputum or mucus, and then we can expect a rust-colored mucus or sputum mixed with the blood. There will be stitching pain in the chest, and as I said earlier, because of infection, when the whole bronchial tree is infected, so when there is slight motion, the patient will experience stitching pain. And urine is candy and concentrated, and bowels are pounded. This is due to dehydration. When there is a rise of temperature, the water content will diminishes from the body. That leads to dehydration. Due to dehydration, urine becomes candy and concentrated. Bowels are constipated. First stage examination, that is inspection. There is decreased mobility of the diseased side of the thorax. When both lobes are engorged, the patient moves only upper part of the thorax in breathing. Due to this infection, and due to gravity, the fluid content will accumulate in the lower lobes of the lungs, so that the upper part of the thorax, the chest will be free, so that the patient can move only the upper part of the thorax. On palpation, there will be increased vocal fremitus. Fremitus refers to the vibratory tremors that can be felt to the chest by palpation. Ask the patient 99 over blue moon. Fremitus is abnormal when it is increased or decreased because sound is transmitted more strong through non-air-filled lungs. Increased fremitus suggests a loss or decrease in ventilation in the underlying lungs. Decreased fremitus is in areas where fremitus is normally expected indicates obstruction, pneumothorax or emphysema. On percussion, generally short tympanic. In the first stage, there will be short tympanic sound over the part involved. In the first stage, when we percuss, we can expect tympanic because since the lungs contains air. On auscultation, crepitation sound will be here. Crepitation sound is the accumulation of fluid in the terminal bronchioles and the alveoli. So, the second stage, there is a stage of hepatization stage. Here, fever will be there, dyspnea will be there, cough and pain just continue. Then on inspection, there will be general weakness due to infection. Hold the chest due to pain, especially during inspiration. When there is bacteremia or septicemia, especially in bacterial pneumonia, it will produce exotoxin, endotoxin in the body that will create toxemia in the body that leads to general weakness of the body. And during inspiration, as I told you earlier, inspiration is an active process. The patient has to take more effort. Then the patient will feel more pain during inspiration. On palpation, the lungs, now the lungs assumes a liver-like or spleen-like structure or cake-like. So the fremitus will be more or strong in where there is non-air-filled areas or lungs. So the vocal fremitus will be strong in the second stage of pneumonia. On percussion, normally we can feel the resonance sound. Here in the second stage, there is the lungs is like liver-like or spleen-like, and so we can expect dull sound. Moreover, the old lung field, the bronchial tree is filled with the mucus, so we can hear dulls instead of resonance sound. We can hear dull sound on percussion. Auscultation, crepitant sound heard. Rattling chest and bronchial breathing noticed. Crepitant sound is nothing but rals. That earlier told you, due to the accumulation of fluid in the terminal bronchial and alveoli, we can expect crepitation or rals. Third stage of pneumonia. This is a resolution state. Sudden relaxation of the all violent symptoms. The temperature falls, face become pale, skin moist, dyspnea ceases, puta become copious, frothy, yellowish, easily expectorated. The urine increases and become natural. On inspection, the thoracic wall regain their natural mobility. Palpation, vocal fremitus is reduced. The lungs will get more air into it instead of the cake-shaped or liver-like things will change and more air will accumulate in the lungs, and so vocal fremitus will be reduced. Percussion will become tympanic because more air will accumulate in the lungs, and on percussion we can hear tympanic sound. On auscultation, we can hear bronchial breathing. The normal breathing is vesicular and bronchial breathing. We can see bronchial breathing and bronchophony. Bronchophony is nothing but it's an abnormal transmission of sound through lungs or bronchi. Crepitation will be there until in the resolution stage, so we can hear some crepitation, that means rals, and until the vesicular respiration is re-established. Pneumonia. What increases your risk? Those persons who are smoking are more liable to get pneumonia, more liable to get infection. Chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. Those persons who are having chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or asthma are more prone to get infection. Younger than 1 year or older than 65 years of old. This category people have less immunity than when compared to other people. So these category are more prone to get infection. Have an impaired immune system. Example, like those persons who are having HIV or AIDS are more prone to get pneumonia infection. Excessive alcoholics have less immunity than when compared to other people. So they have flu or cold. Those persons who have cold or flu recently, their immune level will be very low, so they are more prone to get infection. Recently, spleen removed or do not have a working spleen. In such persons, naturally there will be low immunity. Their diseases means put oxygen from one part of the body to the other part. So here in the sickle cell disease, the RBC can hold only less amount of hemoglobin. So oxygen transported from one part to other part is prevented. Here the immunity will be less. So such person will more prone to get pneumonia infection. Reside in a place where people live close to them. Naturally, there will be more chance of infection since more contamination will be there. Next, pneumonia untreated case. If one is not treating the pneumonia, in untreated cases, it may lead to bacteremia or septicemia. Bacteremia means presence of bacteria in blood. That is bacteremia. In septicemia, presence of bacteria with its multiplication. What is infection? Infection is nothing but the entrance of the infecting organism into the body, and its multiplication is known as infection. In bacteremia, you can see the presence of bacteria in blood. But in septicemia, we can see the both. I mean, the presence of bacteria along with the multiplication. That means infection. So septicemia's condition is more severe than bacteremia. Viral pneumonia is less severe than bacterial pneumonia because bacterial pneumonia produces either endotoxin or exotoxin into the blood. In life, the bacteria will produce exotoxin, and when it is dead and disintegrated, it will produce endotoxin. So this bacterial pneumonia is more severe than viral pneumonia. The sooner you treat pneumonia, the sooner the symptoms go away. Low immune system. The people who have impaired immune system are more likely to have more severe symptoms. Impaired immune system, for example, and those persons who are suffering from HIV or AIDS, their immune level will be very low. Such persons are more prone to infection, and they are the victim of severe symptoms. Pneumonia. When to refer? When there is severe chest pain, presence of symptoms of heart attack, coughed up large amount of blood, feel that you may faint when you sit up or stand. That is due to cerebral hypoxia. A cough that produces blood-tinged or crust-colored mucus from the lungs. A fever with the shaking chills. Difficult, shallow, fast breathing with the shortness of breath or wheezing. Frequent expectoration of yellow or green mucus. Green mucus is the indication of infection, severe infection. So frequent expectoration of yellow or green mucus from the lungs and lasts longer than 2 days. Fever beyond 101 degree with yellow-green mucus from the lungs. Vomit a lot. Illness continued longer than 4 weeks. Chest pain, dyspnea, shortness of breath, cough and fever. Pneumonia diagnosis. On auscultation, rats or crackling sound we heard. As I said earlier, it is due to the accumulation of mucus or sputa in the terminal bronchioles and alveoli. And rhonche is abnormal rumbling sound that indicating that there is sputum in the larger air spaces like bronchi. Respiratory rate will be increased due to infection, and pulse rate also will be increased due to infection and toxemia. On percussion, resonance is reduced to dullness because the lungs assumes a liver-like or spleen-like or cake-like. dull sound heard in consolidation and pleural effusion. On palpation, orchal fragmentus will be increased. It means the underlying lung will have only non-air filled lungs will be there, so vocal fragmentus will be increased. This is a normal chest X-ray and image of a pneumonia. This is a normal chest X-ray. Here you can see the uniform black coloration of the lung fields due to the presence of air. And here, this is the image of a pneumonia. Here we can see white spot that is known as infiltrates. That is denotes infection. Pneumonia diagnosis. Chest X-ray confirms. Chest X-ray confirms the diagnosis. Radiologists will look for the white spots in the lungs, that is infiltrate, that indicates an infection. CT of the lungs to find out the finer details of lungs to detect pneumonia. That may be difficult to see in a plain normal X-ray. An ultrasound of the chest. Ultrasound of the chest to find out any fluid collection around the lungs. Lung ultrasound may be superior to chest X-ray for diagnosing pneumonia. It can detect pneumothorax and pulmonary edema. MRI of this chest, it will provide additional information about the cause and extent of abnormalities. Finally, needle biopsy of the lungs to determine the cause of the pneumonia. Needle biopsy of the lungs is done to rule out cancer. It is done after abnormalities appear in a normal chest X-ray or CT scan. Diagnosis of pneumonia. A black area in the lung field denotes presence of air. This dark area in the lung field that indicate the presence of air. Dark area denotes the presence of fat. Light gray denotes the presence of soft tissue. Off-white denotes the presence of bones. Bright white denotes the presence of metals like stents and pacemakers in the lung. When it is implanted in the chest, when you take the X-ray chest, you can see this bright red thing that is denote the presence of stents or pacemakers. Pneumonia diagnosis. Bronchoscopy examination will find out the infected areas of the lungs. X-ray chest confirm the diagnosis. Chest X-ray can reveal the areas of opacity seen as white, which represents consolidation. Chest X-ray are used to evaluate for complications of pneumonia. Pneumonia is not always on X-ray. In some cases, chest CT can reveal pneumonia. It's also a comparative study of normal and chest image of a pneumonia. And here, this is a normal X-ray of a child. Here we can see the uniform black coloration of the lung field that represent presence of air in the lung field. And here we can see the infiltrate or white spots that indicates infection. Then complications of pneumonia, bacteremia and septic shock, lung abscess, pleural effusion, empyema, pleurisy, renal failure, and respiratory failure. Pneumonia laboratory investigation, laboratory tests. Sputum tests used to help diagnose the severity of the disease and organism causing the disease. Sputum sample. The sputum samples can be collected and examined under the microscope for bacteria or fungi. When you collect the sputum, it should come from the respiratory tract, not from the throat. So you should cuffed up. You should cuffed up the sputum from the respiratory tract, not to hack up from the throat. So if you hack up on the throat, you won't get the positive result. Sometimes it will be you will get a false report. You should cuffed up from the respiratory tract, then only you get the real sputum, then only that is good for examination. Blood test, high RBC, WBC, raised ESR and CRP count indicates infection. There will be raised WBC, raised ESR and raised CRP that indicates infection. Blood cultures are done to determine the specific organism causing pneumonia. Detection of antibodies to streptococcal pneumonia. Antibodies are immune factors that target specific foreign invaders. Polymerized chain reaction (PCR) is useful for identifying certain atypical bacteria strain, including Mycoplasma or Chlamydia pneumonia, but it is very expensive. So PCR is not a less expensive thing; it's a very expensive thing. Okay, and urine test, urine and antigen test for Legionella pneumophila and streptococcal pneumonia. Invasive test. In critically ill patients with ventilator-associated pneumonia, doctors have tried samples of fluid taken from the lungs and trachea. So invasive technique, invasive test. Then differential diagnosis. Differential diagnosis, we have to differentiate pneumonia from bronchiectasis. It is a permanent enlargement of the parts of the airways of the lungs. Then bronchiolitis, it is an infection and congestion of the small airways, that is bronchiolitis. And bronchitis, it is the inflammation of the bronchial tubes. Chronic anemia, it's a type of anemia that commonly occurs in infection, chronic illness, inflammatory disorders, or cancer. Legionella infection, Legionnaire's disease, are also known as legionellosis. It's a form of atypical pneumonia, mild variety pneumonia caused by Legionella bacteria. Asthma, respiratory condition marked by attacks of spasm in the bronchi of the lungs. Then pediatric respiratory distress syndrome. Respiration distress, pulmonary activity is insufficient to regulate oxygen and extract carbon dioxide from the blood. Respiratory failure, there will be agonal breathing. Then pneumococcal pneumonia, as I said earlier, it's caused by Streptococcus or pneumococcus bacteria. Pneumothorax. Pneumothorax, it is a collapsed lung, occurs when the air leaks between your lungs and the thorax. Pertussis, as you know, this is a whooping cough that also to be differentiated from pneumonia. Then Q fever is a bacterial infection caused by bacteria Coxiella burnetii. It is found commonly in cattle, sheep, and goats. RDS, respiratory distress syndrome, is to be differentiated from pneumonia. It is one of the most common problems of newborn babies. Then you should differentiate from smoke inhalation. Okay. Then general management of pneumonia. The treatment depends on the type of pneumonia you have and how severe it is. If it is bacterial pneumonia, it is a very severe condition. If it is other atypical or mild variety, the severity will be less. Community acute pneumonia is a common type and which can be treated at home. Some mild variety of pneumonia that can be treated in the home. And early diagnosis and treatment is required to reduce the spread of infection in the community, and control of infection is required. Fluid therapy, if there is dehydration, we have to give fluid therapy to the patient. And oxygen therapy, if there is breathing difficulties or shortness of breath is there, then we have to adopt oxygen therapy to the patient. Then homeopathic management. There is no specific medicines in homeopathy for any condition or disease. Among medical systems of treatment, homeopathy is very difficult to practice because we don't have any specific medicine for any condition or disease. Unlike other systems of treatment, in homeopathy, there is no specific medicine for fever or cough. When a patient comes to a homeopathic doctor, he has to individualize the case by noting his mental, physical, and social attitude and find out the most similar and most suitable medicine for the patient. It is really a difficult job, or we can say a Herculean task. In short, homeopathy is an art and science. Suppose we give paint and brush and a portrait to a 10 artists and ask them to draw that portrait, do you think all will draw the portrait in a similar manner? No, definitely no. There will be marked difference with their individual artistic abilities. Similarly, in homeopathy, we have to use our skill to find out the most similar medicine to the patient. When a well-selected medicine fails in a case, do not get desperate. Find out the underlying obstacle for cure. Try to find out the miasm in which he belongs to. That is psora, syphilis, and psychosis. And find out the suitable anti-miasmatic remedy for the patient that will clear the case. Individualization is the pivot around which the whole homeopathic philosophy revolves. If 6 persons are coming from a family to consult a homeopathic doctor for an acute illness, here the doctor should consider each person and individualize their case in detail and find a suitable medicine for each of them. Here we can't expect a uniform prescription. When a patient comes to a homeopathic doctor, he should find out the totality of the case and find the most suitable and most similar medicine to the patient. If the medicine is correct, the action of the medicine will be very fast. If the selection is partially similar, the result will be slow. Suppose a group of birds are flying in the sky and a hunter is shooting at them from the ground. Some bullet may hit at the legs of the birds. Some may hit at the wings of the birds. Some may hit at the tails of the birds. Then they fall very slowly to the ground. If the bullet hit at the chest or head of the bird, what will happen? Immediately the bird will fall to the ground. Similarly, if the medicine is correct, if your selection is correct, it will act like a sharpshooter and we can expect a fast relief to the patient. Then treat the patient according to the constitution of the patient. Suppose you put sand in 2 glasses and add a little manure intentionally to one glass. Other glass is free of manure. If one is putting seeds to either glass, which glass seed will grow fast? Definitely the seed with manure will grow fast. This is a typical example of constitutional predisposition. Some people are predisposed to certain diseases. To remove this disposition means we are removing the tendency to get the disease. This is only possible by giving a constitutional remedy. Or we can say to remove the manure from the soil. So the plant growth means the disease getting tendency will be removed from the patient. Homeopathic management. There is no specific medicine for any disease or condition in homeopathy. Homeopathy is an art and science. In incipient stage, aconite, belladonna, ferrum and ipecac can be employed. In frankly developed pneumonia, bryonia, phosphorus, veratrum varietate and chelidonium can be employed. In complicated pneumonia, bacteria, noxol, rustox, pyrogen, hepasulf, and lachesis, pulsatilla, nitron sulf, seneca, lobelia can be employed. And in late cases, in late pneumonia, antidote, carbobix, calicar, arsenicum album, lycopodium, and sulfur can be employed. Bacterial fever. In bacterial fever, the total WBC count will be increased and platelet count will be intact. Medicine for bacterial fever are nitromor 200 twice daily you can give, and artesunate 3x thrice daily you can give for 5 days. Tuberculum 1 dose for recurrent cold and fever such a history is there, then we can prescribe tuberculum 1 dose, and pneumococcin 200 1 dose for pneumonia. There is an which anticipates pneumonia, then pneumococcin 200 can be given. Bacterial fever, again, phosphorus 200 1 dose in all, when all medicine for fever fails. When all medicine for fever fails, we can employ phosphorus 200 1 dose. Then pyrogen 200 1 dose for bacterial and infective fevers. Veratrum variety 200 frequent doses if you are anticipating pneumonia. Pneumococcin 200 in fever cases with a history of pneumonia. Viral fever. Here the total count either normal or decreased. It will not increase as in bacterial fever. Decreased platelet, we can, that's a specific thing in viral fever. There will be decrease in platelet count. And here we can employ gelsemium 30 TDS for 3 days, epitorium per 40 TDS for 5 days, epitorium 3x 2 hourly for 2 days if there is body pain and vomiting, and bryonia thrice daily for 3 days, and pulsatilla 1 dose twice daily, and Anchuria tomentosa 30 BD twice daily for 5 days. Anchuria tomentosa is specific medicine for viral diseases. Drugs to reduce temperature. These are palliative drugs, and when there is an emergency situation, just to satisfy the patient, we can employ these medicine. Candiluga tincture, mother tincture, acetaldinum 1x, belladonna 1m, and stramonium 200, veratrum tincture, bacteria tincture, phosphorus trigger can be employed in such a for palliation of the cases. Then let me express a few cases in front of you. The first case is an 8-year-old boy was brought to me for fever, and shivering was there. So I took the rubric fever, heat in general and give 2 marks, and fever chill with give 1 mark. There was a dyspnea, was a breathing difficulty. So I took the rubric, especially during lying. So I took the rubric respiration difficult lying and gave 1 mark. And there was expectoration of thick mucus. So I took the rubric expectoration thick 1 mark. General food and drinks, he preferred warm drinks. So I took the rubric general food and drinks, warm drinks desire for chest inflammation, lungs, because the lab report was when it was very high. There was a raised TC count, raised ESR, and CRP count was raised. So I took the rubric chest inflammation of the lungs, and he has thirst for small quantities of water. There were general weakness and toxicity were there. So I took the rubric general weakness, fever during, and he liked covering during sleep. So I took the rubric general uncovering aversion to, and he has a sleepy look, a dull look. So I took the rubric stupefaction, mind stupefaction, and give 2 marks. And here, the first case, and here I got one after non-repertoire session. This arsenic album, pulsatilla, lycopodium, and sulfur emerged out. Arsenic album, pulsatilla, and lycopodium, and sulfur. Can you guess the medicine? Anybody? Can you guess the medicine? And finally, selected arsenic al. I selected arsenic al among the medicines, and arsenic al cleared the case. The second case is a 6-year-old girl with high temperature, and lab science and investigation indicates chest inflammation. So I took the rubric chest inflammation of the lungs. I give 2 marks. Abdomen pain, right hypochondria. There was pain over the right hypochondria, and the patient has large quantities of thirst for large quantities of water. So I took the rubric stomach thirst large quantities for, and the patient doesn't like covering. So I took the rubric general uncovering desire for, food and drink sweet desire for, and I give 1 mark. And rectum constipation, the patient has constipation and hard stool was there. So I took the rubric constipation hard stool for and give 2 marks. And extremities pain motion begin to move, and I give 1 mark. And in the second case, on repertoire session, I got iodine, merxol, phosphorus, stramonium, lycopodium, and bryonium. And among this medicine, which medicine?
Sir, we got suggestions as bryonia, lycopodium, sir.
Lycopodium, bryonia. I selected bryonia for this case, and that cleared the case. Bryonia is indicated here. The constipation is there, a large thirst for large quantities there, and moreover inflammation of the lungs is there, and extremities pain, motion begin to move aggravation. So these medicine almost equal rank came, but I selected Bryonia from among them, and Bryonia cleared the case. The third case, a 3-year-old boy with a continuous temperature, and his face is very dull and has a sleepy contour. So I took the rubric mind stupefaction, and he was very stubborn, very irritant child, and I took the rubric mind obstinate, headstrong, and give 2 marks. And he has fear of darkness, and there was fear of noise was there, and he has craving for warm drinks, and flatus and relation was there. So can you guess the medicine?
Sir, we are getting suggestions as Stramonium, Gelsemium, Lycopodium.
So on repetition, I got Lycopodium, sulfur, and pulsatilla, and I selected Lycopodium for this case, and that cleared the case. Another case, there was a severe fever and respiration while lying. The patient has dyspnea, so I took the rubric respiration difficult lying on the back, and fever with shivering was there, so I took the rubric fever chill with 1 mark. Uncovering desire 4. He doesn't like covering during sleep, so I took the rubric uncovering desire 4 and give 2 marks. And the signs of inflammation was there, so I took the rubric chest inflammation of lungs and give 2 marks. And stomach thirstless heat during, I give 1 mark. And patient is very sensitive. I took the rubric weeping easily and give 2 marks. And there was perspiration of the scalp. Can you guess the medicine?
Sir, they are getting suggestions as Pulsatilla, Gelsemium, Lycopodium, and mostly it is a Pulsatilla, sir.
Yeah, I got on repetition, Merxol, Nitramor, Belladonna, Silicia, Calcarica, Pulsatilla, Emergos, and I selected Pulsatilla, and Pulsatilla cleared the condition. And last case, 5-year-old boy with a fever with a chillness was there, and palpitation fever during was there. And when we auscultate this palpitation of the heart was there, and I took the rubric palpitation fever during, stomach nausea fever during, mind stupefaction fever during, expectation, there was thick expectation, so I took the rubric expectation thick 1 mark, and mouth salivation I give 1 mark, mind obstinate headstrong I give 2 marks, channel food and drinks X desire 4. Not during this fever condition, otherwise we like X very much, so I took the rubric X desire 4. And can you guess the medicine?
Sir, we are getting suggestions as Belladonna, Merxol, Calcarea carb, Ipecac.
On repetition, I got sulfur, pulsatilla, phosphorus, calcarea carb, and arsenic. Among these medicines, I selected calcarea carb, and calcarea carb cleared the case.
Okay, sir.
Then I'll say something about Veratramal. It's a favorite medicine as far as I'm concerned, especially in high fever. And here, according to my experience, the whole body will be very hot with the palpitation and audible heart. That is very important. Whole body very hot with the palpitation on the audible. When you auscultate on the chest, you can hear the audible sound of the heart. That is the main indication of Veratramal. Congestion of the lungs and brain with nausea and vomiting. Great weakness and weakness, fever during. Bloodshot eyes, Hippocratic face, and vertigo with nausea, fever with rapid pulse, beating pulse throughout the body, severe joint and muscle pain, electric shock-like pain. Here we can expect some of this nausea also. Nausea associated with fever, high fever, and the main indication is all body will be very hot with the palpitation and audible heart. When you auscultate, you can hear the audible sound of the heart. That is the main indication of Veratramal. This medicine helped me a lot in my practice. and it's a very favorite medicine in high fever. Next is indication of chelidonium, constant pain under the lower and inner angle of the right scapula. Pneumonia of the right lung with the liver complications. Spasmodic cough, small lumps of mucus fly from mouth when coughing. Pain just on deep inspiration. Pain in the right side of the chest and shoulder. Tongue yellow coated with imprint of teeth. Desire for hot drinks, drink very fast, prefers warm drinks. Very important symptom. That is, even the patient can drink boiled water very fast. That is the typical indication of chelidonium. Desire for hot drinks, drinks very fast, prefers warm drinks. Even boiled food you can drink very fast. Aconite, high fever, chill, pulse small, full heart, tense, skin hot, dry cough. Expectorants is watery, serous, and frothy, may blood tint and rusty. Sudden dyspnea with anguish, sticking pain in the chest. Sensation of boiling water poured on the chest. Ferrum force, the first stage of inflammation before exudation takes place. Left upper lobe affinity will be there. Anemia, chlorotic, pale yellowish face, that is chlorotic. Anemic, chlorotic with a lack of vital heat. Expectoration is thin, watery, and blood stick. Violent conduction of the lungs, whether at the onset of the disease or during the course. High fever with a little thirst. And spasmodic pain, cough, aggravation by dying. Comes between aconite and belladonna. This ferrum force will come in between aconite and belladonna. Iodine, first and second stage of pneumonia. Coupes 4. Warm-blooded people, anxious both mentally and physically. I think the iodine is the warm-blooded medicine, the most warm-blooded medicine in the medication. Desire for bath in cold water, high fever without thirst, rapid tendency for hepatization, cough and dyspnea with blood-streaked sputum. Iodine 1x and 3x arrest the process of hepatization. Hot patient without pain craves cool air since the patient is hot. Bryonia patient does not want to spoken to or spoke or spoken to. Wants to keep perfectly quiet. Why? Because while talking or making voice, he has to open his mouth. While opening his mouth, that causes pain because motion aggravates in bryonia patient. So patient does not want to spoke or spoken to. Want to keep perfectly quiet. Thirst for, suppose you ask bryonia patient, do you want water? Sometimes the patient will say no, because if he says yes, because he has to drink, he has to use his mouth, he has to open his mouth. So that opening his mouth, that causes pain. So he will deny. But when you give water at his lips, then he will drink water like anything. Understand? That's the difference. Thirst for large quantities at long intervals, relieved by cool air. Bryonia is a hot patient, so cool air relieves his complaint. Cold application and lying on the affected side. Pain just goes by motion. While deep inspiration, while coughing, the patient will, the bryonia patient will feel pain. Unconscious in the morning and on waking. Fever with sharp stitching, chlorotic pain. Cough is hard and dry. Sputum is candy and rust colored. And bryonia patient in delirium, he talks always about business. Talking of business, wants to go home, and he has homesickness. Always during fever delirium, you say you want to go home, and you will talk about business. Pneumonia complicated with the pleurisy or lung hepatization. Phosphorus. Phosphorus suddenness of symptoms. Follows bryonia well after phosphorus. Words lying on the left side. Whole body trembles with the cough. Lungs are hepatized. Lobar hepatization will be there. Cough with the pain under the sternum. Sputa is yellowish with the blood streaks or rust colored. Affinity to apex of the lungs. Tuberculum, patient is always tired, aversion to work, wants constant changes. For tuberculum patient, the cosmopolitan patient, he won't always change, he like traveling. So he wants constant changes. It is indicated when symptoms constantly change. When well-selected medicine fail or improve, we can employ this medicine. And this cold is taken from slightest exposure. When he exposes slight cold, then he will get the disease. Bronchopneumonia in children. Sanguinuria. Heat and tension behind sternum, circumride redness and burning heat of the cheeks, especially afternoon, engorgement and congestion of the lungs, pneumonia better lying on the back, dry cough, dyspnea and expectoration on the rust-colored sputum, loose cough with a badly smelling. That's indication of sanguinuria. So a differentiating point. Loose cough with a badly smelling sputa. The breath and sputa smelling badly to the patient himself. So when there is bad smelling sputa, we can think about sanguinuria in pneumonia. Hepasal, chilly patient with profuse sore perspiration. Cough after exposed to cold, rattling, aggravation by cold. This concerns the cold. Cough when any part of the body is uncovered. Patient has to sit up and bend backwards. In Arsenical calicar, the patient has to sit bend forward for relief. And here, as far as is concerned, patient has to sit up and bend back for relief. Chronic pneumonia with a profuse purulent expectoration. Antindart indicated the stage of resolution. Rapid travel of upper respiratory tract infection to the chest, more suited for aged and children. Extremes of age, the antindart is indicated. Chilly, because these two conditions, the immune power is actually less. And chilly, nose dilated, flapping, cold sweat of the face. Does not like to be touched or looked at. Fine rod skirt over hepatized lungs. Oppression of breathing compelled to sit. Likes to be fanned, no thirst. No clothing around the neck or shoulder. Calica, stitching pain worse by motion, affect the lower part of the right lung. Aggravation by 3 a.m. Dyspnea and great mucus in the chest. Chest affection relieved by sitting and leaning forward. Great debility cannot bear to be touched. Indicated when ipecac and antindart fails. Follows well after bryonia. After pneumonia, least cold settles in the chest, never well sinks. In such condition, we can think about calica. Sulfur. Sulfur can be employed at any stage of the pneumonia. Slow speech, dry tongue, weakness and fainting, dyspnea, aggravation by 12 and 2 a.m. at midnight, forcing to sit. Weakness, much fatigued and prostrated, pus-like expectoration. Lycopodium, it's a very important medicine for pneumonia, usually delayed or partial resolution. In such condition, we can think about lycopodium, tightness of the chest, aching over the lungs, weakness, rattling, flapping of the LNSA, inability to expectorate, neglected pneumonia in difficult breathing from an accumulation of serum in the pleura, cough, dyspnea, thick greenish yellow, salty, very offensive expectoration and rattling chest. Fever in the afternoon from 4 to 8 p.m. More in right lung affection. Dyspnea aggravation in open air and after eating. Respiration 50 to 60 per minute. 50 to 60 for normally it is up to 20 or something, but here it is respiration very fast. And the pulse 120 to 130 and tongue coated brown, red at the tip and margins. Ipecac, cough incessant and violent with every breath. Chest seems full of phlegm, bubbling rods, constriction the chest with nausea, hoarseness, rattling cough. Cough is spasmodic and often ends in vomiting. Fever with nausea, chilly patient, hemorrhagic tendency, pneumonia of infants, chest is overloaded with mucus, dyspnea with the blueness of the skin and pale face. Ipecac, the main indication is nausea and vomiting. Calcarea cup, dyspnea from exertion with a sweetish expectation of white or yellow mucus, salty expectation, affinity for right upper lobe of the lungs, chilliness and shivering, dyspnea, aggravation by ascending stairs, must sit down. Tickling cough, aggravation night, dry and free, expectoration in the morning and only during daytime. Chest very sensitive to touch, longing for fresh air. Cuprum metallicum, spasm and constriction of the chest, spasmodic dyspnea alternating with spasmodic vomiting. Cough better by drinking cold water. Chest very sensitive to touch. Cough excited by tickling the throat and accompanied by vomiting. Suffocating spells, painless, hoarseness. Arsenicum album, respiration anxious, stertorous and wheezing. Apex of the right lung affected. Anxiety with the fever, fear, restlessness, fear of death. Rapid exhaustion, burning, cadaverous smell. Relieved by wanderings, aggravation at midnight, 1 p.m. Must sit up with the knees drawn up, resting head and arms on the knees. Dyspnea on coughing, walking and climbing. Great heat and burning in the chest. Karbowitz, badly treated case of pneumonia with remaining of bronchitis, where hepatization remains. Weakness of the chest, thirstness during fever, anxiety on closing eyes, breathing impeded by flatulence, relieved by eructation, faintness on wakening. In the third stage, with the fetid expectoration, cold breath, and sweat with the desire to be fanned. Excessive dyspnea with a tendency to collapse. In the final stage, in the later stage of pneumonia, Karbowitz can be employed. Karbowitz antidote can be employed. And causticum. Causticum aphonia, loss of voice will be there from weakness of the muscles of larynx. Acting up abundant mucus will be there. And cough excited by speech and cold, cough relieved by swallow of cold water. Cough with involuntary passage of urine. Nitron sulf, psychotic pneumonia, lower lobe of the right lung affected with great soreness of the chest. During cough, patient has to sit up in bed and hold the chest with both hands. Early morning aggravation, 4 to 5 a.m. Merksole, pneumonia of the right lower lobe, cough with a bloody, thick green mucopurulent phlegm, aggravation at night and warmth. Imprint of teeth on the tongue with a dirty white coating and offensive salivation and metallic taste. Fever with a loose mucus tools, thirst for cold things. The salivation of the mouth is very important in Merksole with the offensive smell from the mouth. That indicates Merksole. Pulsatilla. Pulsatilla is a very important medicine for pneumonia. Cough loose in the morning with a thick yellow expectoration. The fever may be worse in the evening and night. General improvement by open air. Thirst is usually low, moody and emotional and wants attention and sympathy. Once a case was brought to me and the patient is a boy, and he came after 3 to 4 days after getting a flu. And when he came, there was a high temperature with chills. And I prescribed one medicine. After taking the case, I prescribed one medicine. And the patient asked me, do you want any blood examination? Then they asked me, then I told that I write the blood examination and I give the medicine. Next day morning, I routinely said the patient to call me in the morning and tell me the improvement. And next day morning, the patient told me that there is improvement. But when I next day morning, when I reached the clinic, the blood report from the lab came with a high WBC count and CRP and ESR. but the next day morning, the parents called me that the patient is okay. So with that Pulsatilla, still I'm remembering, I gave Pulsatilla. Patient has and had no thirst at that time, and he was very sensitive. So I prescribed Pulsatilla, and I conclude like this, because if the medicine is correct, his medicine is similar, and the medicine is absolutely suitable for the patient, that even though it is high temperature, even though it is pneumonia, it will bring the condition down. Okay. Antimars, loose rattling cough of antintart plus prostration and resolution of arsenical. In both in this condition, we can think about antimars. Excessive dyspnea, aggravation by eating and lying down, upper left lung affinity. Seneca, great burning chest, profuse secretion of mucus before or after cough. Great accumulation of clear albuminous mucus, which is difficult to expel. Great soreness of walls of the chest. Pressure on chest as though lungs were forced back to spine. Lobelia, dyspnea with the constriction of the chest, played by rapid walking. That's a point. Dyspnea with the constriction of the chest, played by rapid walking. Extreme nausea and vomiting. Cramp, ringing, cough, short breath, catching at the throat. Now I am coming to the last slide, homeopathy. Whether homeopathy will heal pneumonia lies in the ability of the prescriber. The right remedy must be employed, and when it is employed, healing is swift and complete. Full form. Homeopathy never fails, but the followers may fail due to faulty application of principles. Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. So can we take up some questions, sir?
Yeah, you can ask questions. So with my
Yes.
limited knowledge, I will try my level
Yes.
best to give answers. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is a question from Dr. Harini. In third stage of pneumonia, how does chest wall regain its mobility?
So can you repeat?
In the third stage of pneumonia, how does chest wall regain its mobility?
In third stage, that is the resolution stage, you know.
Yes, sir.
During the resolution stage, everything will come back. That hepatization will come back to aerated. The lungs will hold the air. So the sound, the chest sound will change to dullness, from dullness to come back to tympanic this thing, and the expectoration will be born, and the patient will ease and he will feel comfort. So there will be less pain. Due to pain just the patient holds the chest, and when the pain is relieved means he is okay. So during the third stage or resolution stage, the patient will comfort naturally. He will feel comfortable. That's all. Then at that stage, he don't need to hold the chest.
Okay, sir. Sir, this is a question from Dr. Usha. Can you please tell us about your potency, dosage, and repetition, sir?
Potency selection will depend on the doctor and the ability of the doctor. You know, they can judge. That's all. You can use even 30 potency is high potency. You know, even 30, 200, 1 gram, and even the 0 bar is also high potency. You can choose. But the problem is that it should be more similar to that is more important. Similar, it should be similar and most suitable for the condition. The ability of the doctor is to find out the most minimum to the patient. So when you select the maximum minimum, 30 or 200 will act. No more. And mostly for intestinal complaints, usually we will prefer 30th potency. And other complaint, respiratory complaint, 200 and above you can use, no problem. And repetition, what I do is when a patient comes, I will give the first dose as it is. I mean, suppose I am giving Nexomicare, 1 dose I will give in powder form and put in tongue. And next dose onward I will The next 2 packets I will give. 1 packet as it is in the patient you will take, and the second packet I will dissolve. I will put in half glass of water and dissolve in half glass of water and tell the patient to stir it in 1 by 10 times. And from that medicine I will give 1 teaspoon 4 hourly or 6 hourly according to the condition of the patient. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Participants, if you have any doubt, please drop them in the chat box. Sir, this is a question from Dr. Anu Matthews.
Yes.
Which anti-miasmatic remedy mostly helps if there is a block in the cure?
So there are 3 miasms: psora, syphilis, and psychosis. And see the patient which miasmatic bracket he belongs to. Then, if it is psychotic miasm, you just select an antipsychotic medicine to remove the block. That's all. Very easy.
Okay, sir.
If it is syphilitic miasm, go for an anti-syphilitic medicine. And mostly this respiratory complaint will come under psychotic miasm. So select an antipsychotic medicine and prescribe that. That will clear the obstruction or that block. Okay.
Okay, sir. So one more question from Dr. Vinita. Can you suggest a medicine for eosinophilia?
See, earlier I told you, there is no specific medicine in homeopathy. Unlike other systems of treatment, we don't have any fever medicine or cough medicine, or medicine for fever or cough. Understand? So we can't say that a particular medicine for eosinophilia. We have to take the whole totality of the case and individualize the case and find a suitable medicine for the case. It's a Himalayan Herculean task, As I said earlier. So we can't say that in homeopathy we have a specific medicine for eosinophilia. We have to, it's a painstaking business, not easy. It's very difficult to practice, Homeopathy is only for dedicated persons and hard workers.
Yes, sir. So there is a question from Dr. Rishita Patel. When viral pneumonia is not so severe, why these many deaths due to COVID-19?
Repeat the question louder, please.
When viral pneumonia is not so severe, why there is so many deaths from COVID-19?
Because no treatment is there. That's the problem. Bacterial pneumonia, of course, this is more troublesome because more severe is bacterial because it produces the endotoxin and exotoxin to the blood. As far as virus fever is concerned, it is not produce any exotoxin or endotoxin. It is a mild variety in itself. But the problem is that in conventional medicine, there is no treatment.
Okay.
Understand? That is the problem. In viral disease, there is no treatment. And most people are going towards that side. That's the problem. And we have treatment. In viral fever, we have a very good treatment. But the people approaching to homeopathic field is less, we can say. That's the problem.
Okay,
if they allow us, we can do wonders.
Yes, sir. I agree. So, Dr. Deepu, sir? Sir?
Yes, any question more? Any more questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Deepu, sir, am I audible? Sir, please give me a minute, sir.
Which one? Tell me.
We can conclude the session, Dr. Vinodini.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir, yes, sir. Please, sir. So thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. I feel very privileged to deliver the vote of thanks on this occasion, sir. I would like to express a sincere thanks to Dr. Titi Daniel on behalf of IHMA Kerala. Your presentation was very much excellent and it was very much useful, sir. Thank you, sir. It is our privilege, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.